For my teaching demonstration, I'm going to show the class how to find the variance and standard deviation for both population and sample groups. To start, we are going to do the variance and standard deviation for the population. This is the formula that we use to find the variance. An easier way to display the information is to use a table. So these are the numbers that we are considering to be our population. And we're going to put the formula you just saw in table form. So in our table, the first thing we'll do is list our x's. Each number in our set is an x. So we will list each of those numbers in the first column. Our second column number is the average. So what we will do is add 8, 10, 12, and 14, and then we will divide by 4 to get the average. So we got 44, and then if you divide 44 by 4, for the 4 items in our set, you get 11. So in each of these columns, each number in will get an 11. We'll scoot on over and do our x minus the average. 8 minus 11 is negative 3. 10 minus 11 is negative 1. 12 minus 11 is 1. And 14 minus 11 is 3. Our next column now says that we will square what we got in column 3. So negative 3 squared is 9. Negative 1 squared is 1. 1 squared is 1. And 3 squared is 9. So then what we'll do once we have this is refer back to our formula. For population variance, we will take the sum of this column and divide it by n. So we are going to add up the numbers in this column. 9 plus 9 is 18, plus 1 is 19, plus another number is 20. Our n in this scenario is the number of items that we have in our set. We have 4 numbers in our set, so we will divide by 4. So our variance for this particular population problem is 5. If you know the variance, you can quite easily find the standard deviation. To find the standard deviation, once you have the variance, all you have to do is find the square root. So the standard deviation for this problem is 2.24. Another way that you can do this, once you find the average, is to actually list it out. We know our average here equals 11. So you have the option of doing this. And divide by 4. So this is another way that you can find the population variance and then square root it for the standard deviation. But the table is a lot more organized. So now we're going to switch and do the sample variance and standard deviation. This formula is slightly different from the one we just saw. It uses a few different symbols. And on the bottom, we will do n minus 1 instead of just n. So here we do s squared, and then we use bar x instead. So we will use the same numbers as before. And set up a table. So once again, Each number in our list is the x, and bar x is the average, just as it was before. We get 44 is this total divided by the 4 items in the set to get 11. So we get the same answers. 8 minus 11 is negative 3. 10 minus 11 is negative 1. 12 minus 11 is 1. And 14 minus 11 is 3. We will take this column and square it, just as we did when we were finding population variance. And we'll get 9, 1, 1, and 9. And then, like we said before, when you refer back to the formula, we're taking the total of this column and dividing it by n minus 1. So 99 is 18, plus 1 is 19, plus 1 is 20. So our total is 20. How this changes now is that we are doing n minus 1 as the denominator. So our n is 4, and 4 minus 1 is 3. So we will instead divide 20 by 3 this time to get 6.67 as our variance. To find standard deviation, we do the same thing that we did with population. We simply find the square root of that number, which is 2.58, and that gives you the standard deviation. Just as before, you can list it out as 8 minus 11 in parentheses squared plus 10 minus 11 in parentheses squared, and so on and so forth. And then subtract by, or divide by n minus 1. But the table is a more organized way to do it. And that was my teaching demonstration.